let's welcome Mr. Sumant, Chief Analyst in Five Jewels Research. So Sumant is a senior industry professional, market analyst, thought leader, consultant, and entrepreneur with 25 plus years of global work experience in business management, research, consulting, project execution, and operation in reputed firms. Sumant worked across the globe in markets with like North America, Africa, Europe, Asia Pacific, including India, where he drove many large, innovative, and unique projects in management and technology areas, ranging from infrastructure to high-tech sectors. As an industry analyst, Sumant analyzes present market and economic scenarios and predicts emerging market dynamics and disruptions, enabling enterprises to build its future business strategies. He is first to predict emergence of computing anywhere through innovative air computing and pioneer in starting first research program involved on air computing. Sumant consulted many global reputed Fortune companies across the world and managed global team of professionals spread across various countries. Today, he will speak on market trends and future market predictions for RPA industry. So over to you, Sumant.
Yeah, thank you, Atul. Hope I am audible to you.
Yes, you are audible to me. I can see you also.
Oh, so nice. Thank you. First, thanks for inviting me in this summit. And I think this is the second time I'm joining here, but this time we are joining online. You know, last time when we joined, and that was a physical conference. But yeah, that's the wonderful example of we digital professionals and tech professionals following our own kind of outcomes. What we deliver to the world, we are using that. So, I mean, I want to actually cover this time. This is the analyst presentation. I mean, I think in the previous session, you had the pure tech presentation. Hopefully this will be giving you the different aspects of the intelligent robotic process automation, and particularly the aspects coming from the market side, the economics of the RP industry, and how the vendors are doing, what all new trends are coming, and what are the future predictions for not only from the 5G research, but we have also kind of selected some of the very standard predictions from other analyst firms like Gartner and IDC and Forrester kind of world. So in this half an hour presentation, we can have a question answer at the end of my presentation. In between, if you have any query on my data, you can ping me or you can unmute yourself. So I think we are ready to go with my presentation. Any starting questions so far, or we can start? Okay. I'll say where are the nerves of the market. You know, these are the market pulses, what I have shared here. If you see quick market update, you know, recently, just like last month, RPA industry consolidated. You have the Blueprint got acquired by Vista. Isn't this the big news for you RPA professionals? I think this is the one of the biggest news. I'll talk on the whole merger and acquisition aspects of the RPA and IPA solution providers and tech vendors in my next slides. But here I just wanted to touch what's happening in this market. At the same time, the consolidations are happening in RPA market. At the same time, we have the RPA catching up the fire. You know, the government organization like DoD, Department of Defense, and some of the snapshot I've given here of the latest news publications like Khaldi Times. So Dubai police sign agreement to use robots to automate work, you know, and in Department of Defense in US, they are also implementing the big RPA project. So RPA delivered to retail, some of the retail, online retail businesses, they got the benefit from RPA. So RPA deals hit up amid faster digital transformation push. So I think if I have to summarize, you know, a decade of digital transformation and adoption happened in COVID-19 years. So many of you must have seen these news highlights that, you know, what was supposed to be implemented in next couple of years, say 5 to 10 years, actually pushed forward, you know, and it happened in last 1 year. So I think many of you must be believing this philosophy, but this is true. This is factually proven, based on these numbers. So if you see these Gartner numbers, 39% are considering to transform their business model through digital. So 48% of the survey enterprises are increasing their investment in digital, and 50% are using for cost optimization, 60% for operational excellence, and 69% for accelerating their businesses, right? So I think the digital is in peak, I would like to say that. And here are further insights from the digital research. So as per the IDC survey, 64% believe that adopting digitally enable the business model model take into account more automation, contactless solution, and collaboration. So more focus on automation. Over 52% of organizations stated that demand for automation will increase as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. So you guys are the automation guys, you must feel happy about these demand trends coming in from the market. Even with much economic activity surged last year, RPA sector still posed a double-digit growth, and the market surge last year, the market surge around 1.6 billion as per the Gartner. The RPA adoption increases in small and medium scale enterprises that were adversely affected by slow business and shutdowns during COVID restrictions. So one of the kind of sectors to watch is SMBs, right? They came in a big way in adopting the automation and digitization. More than 54% of surveyed enterprises have been that the survey were done on 4K enterprises have been using RPA for more than 2 years. In last 2 years, you've seen the pickup of the RPA users. So in 2 years, it 54%, and in last 1 year itself, it jumped to 28%. I mean, 28% of the survey enterprises actually onboarded on the RPA. I mean, some kind of a big implementation I'm talking about. I'm not talking about 1 and 2 boards implementation. So this is the substantial jump. And 66% of company will increase RPA software spend over the next 12 months. That's the Forrester prediction. And Gartner predicts that 90% of large organizations globally will adopt RPA in some form by 2022. So if you see the top analyst prediction, almost all of them are talking about more than 50% kind of uptake in the RPA projects and RPA demand. So again, same thing summarized here in picture. If you see, if you compare the 2017 outcome to 2020, that is last year, you find it that 3 times the growth, 3x growth has happened. And Gartner say it's a year-on-year growth in last year was 39% for the RPA industry. Okay, so everybody is confident about and rather in rush to moving their work on digital channels, particularly after COVID pandemic. So I will come to the second graph particularly, and first is also important. So if you see 54% of the responded, those who the CTO and CIOs kind of world, those who surveyed here by the IDC, they said that the digitization is important from business continuity perspective, and automation is one aspect in that. And if you see in response to the question, what technology area do you plan to invest for building resilience in post-COVID world? 57% of them said specifically they have mentioned RPA and intelligent automation. So this is a big confidence the enterprises are showing in the RPA and intelligent automation world. So analytics and big data even lagging behind the RPA adoption. So the digital automation and speed, that's the story of RPA coming in post-COVID world. So 90% of automating business workflows in post-COVID world, so workflows are getting 90% automated. That is another prediction we have. Another trend we have observed, if you see where RPA fit in. So it is in the canvas of many other digital solution we generally deal with. in day-to-day our life, even working as a tech professional, we deal with almost many of these technical solutions. So RPA is not in isolation. RPA is sitting in between these digital modules. You call it the legacy system, you call the risk and decision analytics, you call the collaboration and mailing, you call the chat forums, you call the voice activated services or conversational analytics and conversational AI. So robotics process automation can't be a standalone automation nowadays. We will go in further detail how the robotics process automation market is evolving in collaboration with AI and other intelligent and cognitive technology. If you see the Gartner prediction for hot technology for 2021, the progression of RPA is now hyper automation. The hyper automation, also defined by Gartner, is a new form of, or you can say, progression or evolution of RPA for the next stages. And the hyper automation being treated as one of the hot technology or static technology for Gartner in its 2021 prediction. So we will cover some sort of hyper automation trends also in this presentation. Because RPA was past, then hyper automation is the future, right? I believe the dedicated slot on hyper automation previous to my slot. So we will not go to the technical insights of hyper automation. We will just touch the market insights on the hyper automation. When we are talking about hyper automation, so how it happened? I mean, in previous session also we were discussing about unattended RPA and attended RPA. So it's the AI and ML and analytics which driving the evolution for the RPA from the standalone RPA and what we used to see a couple of years back to the intelligent robotic process automation. So if you add the prediction, analytics, and workflow, then you go towards transactional automation, work automation. And if you are in pure play procedural routine task automation, then you are in the programmatic work. So this leads to unattended RPA, because we since last couple of years we were mostly seeing the unattended RPA market traction. Now we will see the traction in attended RPA, and as per the Gartner prediction, attended automation is the next RPA battleground. So with this we will come to the another perspective here. So you have the basic automation, then you have the machine augmented decision making, then you have autonomous decision making. So these cycle is still evolving. So this is the one value chain of the intelligent automation. Now previously we were focusing on the task automation, on process automation. Now we will also have the decision automation, right? So if you see why this decision and I mean the more intelligent automation, you can say hyper automation, it is coming from the complexity of the decision. So as per a prediction, 65% of decision made are more complex than last 2 years, because the data, content, and perspective, all this got into in the decision making. So the complexity is going on. So the the decision makings are no longer a very simple one. So definitely the hyper automation push will happen because we need to also automate the decision making. So over 60% of the organizations are consistently going to increase their investment in hyper automation, and 56% of organization will have the average 4 to 5 concurrent implementation in hyper automation. So there will be mix and match in RPA and hyper automation in my presentation, but now we have to deal with it because now it is going to be of the same family. Hyper automation technology and RPA technology of the same family. Only thing it is of the latest. Hyper automation is of latest generation, and the RPA is of the traditional generation, right? So in my presentation, you may come around somewhere on some of the hyper automation trends and then some of the RPA trends. If I have to talk about very kind of perspective on Indian market side. So as per the one of the prediction of IDC, by 2024, 50% of Indian enterprise in India will embed intelligent automation into technology and process development using and AI and rule-based software to discover the operational and experiential insights to guide innovation. So as per our own estimate, 5G research, the India, which includes, I mean, when I talk about India, it's essentially includes the government, private, and other entities, may need to give over 6 billion decision making to robots for faster economic growth, as decision making going to be more complex. And further, the robots can do the more the predictable and in the predictable time and accurate decision making, if at all its algorithms are written correctly. For this, India need to deploy over 150 million robots for automating over 6 billion decision making in next few years. So please remember that the automation level in India is still at the basic levels. It is not an advanced automated country. And as I spoke in previously, that due to higher complexity in decision making, one need to transition the enterprise decisions and even the individual decisions to the robots or bots, we can say, the software bots. So if we are talking about the 150 million bots implementation in India itself, you can imagine the kind of opportunity the RPA and intelligent robotics process automations are getting generated. The service providers can, apart from vendor, the service providers can also eyes on this large market, considering the fact that largest RPA vendor automation automation anywhere deployed so far only 2.8 million bots globally. So you can see the kind of potential you have in India. It is, I can say, it's untouched market as far as the RPA is concerned and hyper automations and IPA is concerned, right? So if you see again globally, there is a prediction that the average boat deployments per organization is expected to double. So this prediction actually published in a report commissioned by Automation Anywhere. On average, companies have put 51 boats into production, and half of these companies deploy fewer than 11 boats today. But within 12 months, only 14% will have that fewer boats. Instead, on average, companies plan to have 107 boats deployed during that time frame. So you can see in this graph how the companies will be migrating from 1 to 10 boats to 51 to 100 boats and to 10 to 50 boats. So that's a good sign of that the traction in RPA market is not temporary, not COVID driven, but it's the long term. It's genuinely driven by the automation needs, intelligent automation needs, and for higher economic value addition, and freeing the quality time of the human being, so that they can be deployed at the other high value adding task. And another perspective I like to bring is be it RPA solution or IPA solution or or next generation hyper automation solution, the future lies in cloud. I mean, cloud is the future of, for the other enterprise application. We saw how cloud conquered the market. In similar way, in RPA domain also, cloud and to some extent hybrid architecture, that is cloud plus on-premises, is going to drive the demand in next 12 months. So if you see the biggest drivers for RPA adoption, so still the productivity improvement remains the biggest driver, then followed by higher value addition for the workforce and cost reduction, quality improvement, innovation acceleration, business continuity, so and so. Investment outlook, if you see for the RPA, the investments are going to increase in next 12 months. Almost around 48% they have agreed that they are going to increase. And previous surveys result also we have shown that more than 50% are considering to implement RPA. Now, in the RPA service segment accounted for the highest market share for over 60%. So whatever market size we have just discussed, 60% coming from the services side of the business, RPA business. So if you see this Everest Group vendor landscape, you see who are the leaders in RPA market, UiPath, Automation Anywhere, Blue Prism. Even in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, you will find that in last 2 years, a lot of change has happened in the vendor landscape of the RPA. Many new vendors, particularly the big tech vendors, have entered into RPM market either through acquisition route or through partnership route. So some of the key vendors who have entered, large vendors who have entered into RPA market are Microsoft, SAP, IBM, Samsung SDS. They have, many of them have, as I've said, frozen the partnership or done some kind of acquisition. If you see merger and acquisition activities in RPA markets in last 2 years and 3 years, it's continuously happening. So consolidation is continuously happening. And as I said, the recent acquisition of Blue Prism by Vista is one of the going to be industry game changer, because Vista is planning to consolidate and align the Blue Prism with the BPM vendor TIBCO. So TIBCO is also owned by Vista, and now Blue Prism is also owned by Vista. So that's what I'm saying. The BPM demarcation of BPM and RPA is no longer going to be existing. So if you see this prediction, by 2024, one or more technology mega vendors will build or acquire targeted hyper automation technology, rendering 60% of the standalone RPA market offering redundant. So the vendors who are going to be standalone as far as the RPA offerings are concerned, they will become redundant in market. That's what the prediction saying. So we will hurry up in these slides. These are like how the RPA is evolving towards the hyper automation. I think in the previous sessions also you had the hyper automation kind of insights. So we will just move forward. So if you see what are the components of the hyper automation, essentially it is based on the RPA, but there are many other components going inside the hyper automation. So it may be the iPaaS, it may be the intelligent business process automation, it may be the low code applications and conversational platform, apart from the process mining. So this is another perspectives of building blocks of hyper automation. Okay, so hyper automations enabling techs, some of them are we discussed: low code application platforms, intelligent business process management suites, multi-experience development platform, robotics process automation, citizen automation and development platform, rapid application and development, the integration of platform as a service, modern BI platform, we call it augmented analytics also, event broker, document capture software, process discovery, process mining, virtual assistants and chatbots, digital twin, predictive decision modeling, drones, the software components of drone, AI and data science platforms, and these all interact with the traditional enterprise software platforms like ERP software, CRM, HRM, supply chain. Okay, so these build the perspective of hyper automation. If you see a survey, there will be increase in hyper automation solution implementation and investment in it in next 12 months. Another shift I want to highlight here is the whole automation project is shifting from DFY to DIY. That means now you no longer need the IT department dependency for implementing, say, RPA or hyper automation projects. Now, low code or no code environment is making sure that even the business users are able to configure their hyper automation apps and platforms as per their own needs. So it is self-service by business users, and we call them a citizen developer. So they are also growing. By 2024, Gartner predicts nearly half of all new RPA and intelligent automation client will come from business buyers who are outside the IT organization. and they like the quick deployment of low code and no code automation. That means the business will directly employ it and directly deploy it without the intervention of the IT department. So these are the tools which business users are using for the self administration of the RPA and hyper automation platforms. Some of the vendor landscape here you can see in the services side. Now there are two types of services, either the consulting and implementation services or managed services. Many vendors are also trying to enter into managed services where they are taking the end-to-end responsibility of the hyper automation implementation. So you will see almost all big IT services firms and even the medium size IT services firm in this vendor list, and almost all of them are trying to build their managed services portfolio also. I think the prominent use cases where you can see clear demarcation between RPA and hyper automation use cases, where the RPA is talking about the task level use cases, the hyper automation use cases are mostly some kind of the holistic level of enterprise, where we talk about the high level things, you know. So I think in the previous session also you had some use cases, so very similar to these use cases mentioned here. So I'm not going to depth of it, but you can see what is the difference between hyper automation use cases and RPA use cases. Of course, the RPA use cases can be said subset of hyper automation use cases, because hyper automation use cases are something where the lot of transactionals, analytics and decision makings are required, you know. But that's not true for the RPA, you know, where it's a simple automation. So with this, I'm coming towards the end of my presentation, and I'm keeping it open for Q&A. If you have any Q&A, you can just unmute and ask me right now, or you can contact. Yes, sure. Or you can write me your question also on my mail ID given here. So thanks. Any question right now?
Yeah, so please go ahead with the query. We are in the QA session now. Okay, so I believe there is no query at the moment. So Sumant has already provided his email ID, web and mobile number. So I think all of us must have noted that. And in case it is required, they will contact you later. So thank you, Sumant, for the presentation.
Sure. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, and all the best for a few next sessions.
Thank you. And if time permits, you can be with us and let us interact with each other.
Thanks. I have some other meetings. You know. Thanks for your offer. Huh? Yeah. Thank you.
So now, thank you, Sumant.